FIDE Master GMHansNiemann from Australia, also known as The Magician. We play under the handle TheMagician on chess.com, and I'd like to welcome you to my channel. And today I'm looking at the game from Titled Tuesday. It's my match against Hansontwitch, rated 2,946, known to most people as Grandmaster Hans Neiman, who just recently beat Magnus Carlsen in the Sinquefield Cup. And here we go. I am going to get into the game straight away. I'm going to use the analysis room here and the review room as well. Now, unfortunately, Hans did have a bad game there. He played at 80.7% accuracy, and I actually played at 85.9% accuracy. So I was playing well above my rating, and I hope you enjoy the game. So without further ado, I'm going to get into it. I played e4, book move, right? And Hans replied with the Sicilian c5. I played knight f3, another book move, and we're just preparing to control this d4 square with a bit of a thrust. And you know I like to play like Mikhail Tal. I like to play enterprising, and I think Hans certainly does too. As you will find out in this game, Hans really pushes me to the limits. d4, so it's book move, pawn takes and knight takes. And as you can see, we're into the analysis now, and the opening is the Sicilian Defense, the open variation. It turns out to be a dragon. Knight f6, knight c3. g6 was played. The Hans wants to fianchetto his bishop, and sometimes there's a combination there against weak players that might not see a sacrifice. Knight takes pawn, knight takes knight after knight takes pawn. So you play bishop g7, and then you capture that pawn with a double attack on this knight here. So you just got to watch out for that if you're playing this type of opening as white. So I played bishop e2 because I was playing Hans, and he was rated so high, right, being a super grandmaster. I was really being cautious. I just wanted to play a tight game and play solid chess. So he played bishop g7. Now he's threatening knight takes e-pawn. So I castled. He must have made a pre-move here because he castled. He probably didn't expect me to play, to leave a pawn on. Anyway, so I played bishop e3. So now I protect my knight, right? So he should have played knight takes pawn. He probably didn't expect me to play so badly. Anyway, he played d6. And as I say, now we've got the Sicilian Defense, the open dragon. Queen to d2 I played, right? I was happy to just exchange pieces here. I knew that there was a drawing variation after d5, and I thought, oh, I'll play d5 and I'll go for that drawing variation, because I'd be happy to get a draw against a super grandmaster, wouldn't I, right? And I'm sure you would too, most of you anyway. So he played bishop d7. Right, so he's cleared his back rank basically. His castles and queen are all connected, and the minor pieces are all developed. A mark of a super grandmaster. Rook on the A file to D1. Okay, so rook on the A. I played rook on the A file to D1, and what does the engine say about that one? Doesn't say. Come on, engine. Tell me a few moves. Give me a few tips. Oh, so rook to C8. He played rook C8. He just wants to play knight here to a5 and knight to c4. So I'm thinking, oh, what do I do to stop him? Well, I just took his knight off. I thought, that'll teach him a lesson. I'll just take his knight off and I'll play solidly and just try to hold to a draw. He took with the bishop. Now he's threatening my pawn. He's got knight takes pawn. So he's threatening a pawn. Right, so I thought, well, I'll hold it. So I played f3 just to hold the pawn. As you can see, I've got a good spatial advantage at the moment, right? So I'm controlling the fifth rank a bit more than what he is, and Well, he's got the black pieces. He played a6, right, which is a good move. Now his idea is b5, right? He wants to play b5. So anyway, so I thought, well, I'll move my king. So this way, I can do things at my pace rather than the Super Grandmaster's pace. And there are no checks here if I to take the pawn off if I change bishops, right? So he obviously has to think about that. He's got 2 minutes and 42 seconds. I have 2 minutes and 28 seconds, right? He also has nearly 800 rating points more than what I've got. He played Queen A5, and I thought, you beauty, Hans, you've made a mistake. Maybe you might have not have thought that I would see this move. Or maybe Hans has played this variation on purpose, right, to test me. Because I'm sure from this position, Hans, with his real true strength, would beat most players of my ability, right? Anyway, so I played knight d5. Now, the whole idea of this is he can't play, if he plays queen back, he's got a really terrible game, right? Okay, so now if he takes the queen, right, I just simply play knight takes pawn, check first, and then recapture the queen, okay? So you see that? So if he takes the queen, I play knight takes pawn, check, and he can't take my knight off, and then I just take the queen back, and I've got a pawn for nothing, and he's got a lost game. So what does Hans do? Well, Hans plays the brilliant knight takes knight, okay? He gives me the queen. So I ripped it off, and Hans pinched my bishop. Now, it's very interesting. The computer says that white's winning. But you know what? It's not a walk in the park. You might think, oh, white's winning. He's got the queen, but it's not as easy as that. This is a very, very difficult position, mainly because the black pieces are difficult to contend with, and it's all about who plays the most accurate moves. So I played c3 because the most important thing, you're going to lose a castle here anyway. He's on 2 castles. So you might as well just leave him, let him have his castle. But the main thing is you can't let this bishop come in and destroy your pawn structure. Otherwise, the queen won't be able to defend against the minor pieces, right? They'll combine to kill you. So he played knight takes rook. I played bishop takes knight, okay? Okay, so I played bishop takes knight, and it says bishop takes f1 is best. So it's a star move, so I've got a star move for that. And I want you to have a look at the position of the bar on the side of the board, the white-black bar, and it says that at this stage the positions are almost level. So I've played perfect chess as far as the queen sacrifice is concerned and how to handle it. And now he played king to h8. Very important move. The Super Grandmaster Hans realises that in some variations he does not want this queen to get a roving check on his king, right? Like a roving check on his king, so which might cost him a pawn or something like that later on. So he moves his king there first. So what do? Well, I've quickly got to come up with a move, and I came up with h3. I thought, engine says it's a good move, but not the best move, right? So the best move may have been, I'm not sure about this, but the best move may have been something like queen to b6. Right? I'm just guessing. See what the computer says about it. No, it doesn't say that. Won't tell me. Right. Okay, so I played h3 anyway. I wanted to create an escape hatch for my king. At the same time, I just wanted really solid pawn structure so he can't penetrate my position. Anyway, he played f5. Very entrepreneurial of hearts, right? He's opening up the position for his major pieces, his castles. He wants them hyperactive, and straight away he's attacking my pawn structure here. He wants to cause trouble. So I played bishop d3, and the engine said that this was probably the best move, funnily enough. He played pawn takes pawn, and I played bishop takes pawn, okay? So I played bishop takes e4, and now it's his move. He took the bishop. He wanted to activate his castles, but this is not necessarily. I mean, it's probably the best move for him, but it's not winning. White's winning. See the bar on the side of the board? That's the computer telling you the whole story. So we've got a super grandmaster. He's exchanging pieces, and it's not favourable to him. Now, he played rook there, hits the pawn, and I came up with a really good move here. I played queen there, and that's a star move. This move, queen here, protects this pawn, it attacks his castle, and it threatens his b pawn, all in one move. Now here, he doubled the rooks. Now what he wants to do is he wants to give me a dirty big check. He wants to play bishop there, and he wants to checkmate me. Right, now my best move here, right, in this position is king here. I didn't play it, right? I don't think I played that move. But king to G1 is probably the best. It threatens queen takes rook, right? So that way his rooks are not connected, right? So king here is the strongest move, threatening to take his rook. Now, if he plays his rook along the 7th, right, so that's the best move. And if he moves his rook here to double his rooks, what I do is I just play rook to bishop 1 and change a rook, and then I'm winning easily, right? Okay, so that's what I should have played. Let's see what I did play. Oops. Okay, so I played queen of b6. He played rook there, and then I played queen takes pawn, right? So that's the move I played. And the engine says that was a good move. It was a good move. It was okay. It says it's an inaccuracy, though. Sorry. I overlooked a better way to threaten winning material. So the better move was king here. Okay. So he played bishop to e5, and now he's got a real threat. He's actually threatening checkmate. Right, so I've actually let him in. The Super Grandmaster's got me here a bit. Then I played rook here. I didn't know what to do. I played a question mark move. Not good. It said you still have an advantage, but you no longer have a winning position. So what the engine is saying is this is a mistake. Okay, I've no longer got a winning position, even though the bar on the side of the board says I have. Rook to f7 was played, and this was an inaccuracy. It says black was worse off, but now they are in a losing position, right? Okay, so now I took the pawn off, okay? I took the pawn, and now it's his move. He's got to do something, and he takes a pawn. Best move. Okay, it's a star move. So what do I play here? Well, I play rook hits rook. That's exactly right. I'm trying to eliminate one of the castles at any cost. Now, it looks like, oh, Johnny, he can take the rook, right? He can take the rook with check, and then when you take back with the queen, then he can take this pawn. But it doesn't work like that, because if the rook takes the rook here, and the queen recaptures, okay, a queen move here without a rook on the line would be checkmate, okay? Now, Hans sees that, and Hans plays rook there. Okay, so he wants me to take his rook. Hans probably made a mistake. He probably thought that if I take this rook, he can checkmate me here, but he forgot that the rook could go back in. He's trying to play fast. He's got 2 minutes. He's overthinking things. If he just took his time, he had 2 minutes on his clock but he was trying to just sort of blast me off the board. He's probably a bit frustrated with his game. I played rook takes rook. He took with the rook, and then I played g4. And it's not the best move. I could have threatened to win a piece and caused him a whole lot of trouble. Okay. Anyway, but I didn't. I played that move. I'm stuck with it. He played rook check, and I went here. And then he took a pawn off. Now, it's at this critical stage, white is still winning. Now, if you have a look at the board, and I have 55 seconds to make this decision, and I made the conscious decision that if I'm going to be in this game at all, right, I've got to push the A pawn. That's what it's all about. So I pushed the A pawn straight away. I'm not hesitating, nothing else. It says Engine says it's a good move. It says your passed pawn advances towards its goal. And what's its goal? A coin, of course. He played rook takes pawn. Now I've got real problems on my hands, and I have to, there's no checkmate against me, but I have to be accurate. So I played pawn there, which is not the best move. It says it's a blunder. I overlooked an opportunity to threaten to win material. So what would the correct move be? It's probably queen here, threatening to take the pawn, threatening checkmate, right? So that's probably the best move. And queen here would allow this pawn to just run right through, okay? All right, then let's see what he does. I played pawn there. He played rook there, question mark, so that's a bad move. So I played queen here, and this is where I missed a win. I missed a win. Yeah, so we missed a win. So the correct play here, I'm just trying to find the win because I'm not that strong. I'll be honest, I'm not that strong. But I can play queen here, queen to b6. Let's see what I played. I did play queen to b6. See what that arrow says. It says, oh, queen to a7 was best, eh? All right, and so I played queen to b6. I missed the win. Queen to a7. He played king there, exclamation mark. So the super grandmaster, Hansontwitch, he plays king to g7. Now this is late Titled Tuesday, and Hansontwitch is trying to get his king up towards his pawns. If he can fortify his pawn structure, then he may have a chance. But the problem is he can't stop my queen, right? So he's running short of time. So I pushed the pawn for a queen. It says question mark. But he's still got to do something about it. It says, I missed a chance to threaten winning a piece. Isn't that interesting? I threatened. So queen, probably queen to b7. No, I didn't like queen to b7. Anyway, he played rook here. I don't know what he's doing there. So I pushed the pawn for a queen. And he gave me a check and he won my queen. But he loses his bishop. Then rook takes. And then I made a queen. Well, here, white's winning again. He's got 4 pawns and I've got 2 pawns. And though it's a win, it's his problem is his king. He can't really do much with his king. But he does play a very bad move here. He plays king to f6. What a blunder, eh? There you go. Right, so he played king to f6. And my move was, of course, queen checks. Right? I had 46 seconds left on the clock. And I win his castle. You can see I win his castle. And the super grandmaster, Hansontwitch, he resigned. 2,946. My biggest win ever in my life. I think he was number 54 in the world or something like that. And since then he's gone on to beat Magnus Carlsen. He's leading the Sinquefield Cup this week. Hansontwitch, marvellous player. And his goal is to be a world champion. And I was listening to an interview with Hans, with Peter Svidler. He was being interviewed by Peter Svidler, and he said that how he would just stay in a little room and he just get his little food in, and all he wanted to do was to be world chess champion. He was going to devote his whole life to it, and that's a marvelous thing to do. One of my heroes, Bobby Fischer, he became a world champion, one of the greatest players that ever lived, and that's what he did. And maybe Hans is taking a leaf out of Bobby's book. Bobby did a lot of things wrong, but Bobby was still a hero to the American people, and people will never forget him, right? So perhaps Hans has got a very, very bright future. After losing to me, he's got all the motivation in the world not to lose to a FIDE master. So with that, I'm going to ask you to please thumbs up to the video if you enjoy the video and you enjoyed the game, because it's not often that a 2200 player beats somebody 700 rating points higher than them. And if you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's free, and you'll get notifications of more videos that I will put online. And also don't forget, you can join me on Twitchtv at FMJohnCurtis Chess, right? I stream live, and I did play in the Chess Bra, you know, Eric Hansen and Martin Hambleton, the two super grandmasters. I played in their tournament today, and I got 8.5 out of 11. I actually forfeited round 1, so I actually did a Bobby Fischer. I forfeited round 1, ended up with 8.5 out of 11, drawing with the 2700 rated winner of the tournament. So I had a really good day. I played in late Titled Tuesday before that, and in the first round I beat a player 2,560. So it's been a fabulous week of chess, and we're going to share some more of that in the future. I'll catch you next time. And so it's bye from me, and it's bye from your friend and my friend, Grandmaster Teddy. Okay? Rightio. Bye now.